Raising up her ass with a little bit of coke.
It's just like marijuana. If I can't smoke the same stuff every day, I got 4 different reefers, and I switch them up. So with the edibles, we do the same thing. So remember, we might be able to eat 1,200 of the stars, but if me and him would have ate 240 of that chocolate tonight, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I'd be drooling.
Yeah.
Because I could feel the gummy bear took us to the bridge. The chocolate pushed us into the bridge. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to describe it.
Not over the bridge.
Nah, that's something George Washington would say.
He'd be happy right now, pot being legal. All those founding fathers, they'd be fucking smiling, saying, finally. They believed in weed.
Listen, I love you to death. I don't know the history of weed. I know the history of weed as far as 1973. After that, I don't know it. And guess
Modern
what? Between you and I don't give a fuck. I know about weed since like 1968 because my mom smoked. Very once a week, but I smelt it. It wasn't what they smoked in the cigarettes when they played cards and shit. Something wasn't up. Something wasn't right. But I had a godfather, Catholicism godfather. And as crazy as he was, he'd pick me up every Saturday and take me for a sandwich and watch a movie on 42nd Street. And by the end, he'd fucking spark one. And he'd start giggling like, oh, fuck, that's the same smell I smell at the house. Once you start figuring it out, you're not a fucking moron.
Right.
And then he would giggle and crack jokes and show me his gun. He wouldn't act like he did an hour ago. Something wasn't right with that fucking wacky tobacco.
Got baked and started showing the gun around to a kid. That's fucking great.
He took his gun out after Dirty Harry. After Dirty Harry. Like, he took me to the movie. The whole walk, he told me about the gun. It's a 38 Magnum, whatever the fuck it is, 44 Magnum. It's the strongest gun. It'll blow your head off. And we went to some little restaurant where there was like a table across from us. And at the restaurant, he goes, put out your hand in the bottom. I saw him fidgeting. It was wintertime, so he had a jacket on. And he was fidgeting, and also he goes, put your hand out. And he just gave it to me. And he goes, it has no bullets in it. And I shit my pants. It was bigger than fucking black. He said, this is the same gun fucking...
Dirty Harry?
Dirty Harry had.
All right.
And I almost shit my pants. I gave it back to him. He's like, don't tell your mother. For me to get more action from him, if I rat him out, I'll never get action from him.
That's a great uncle.
Godfather.
Godfather.
That's when Godfather's a godfather. That's when people believed in, when you were somebody's godparent, it meant that you went to visit them once a month, you called them, you always sent them like a stupid savings bond, even if it was $10. I had a fucked up godfather, but he was good when I needed him. You know what I'm saying? He used to take me to his girlfriend's houses and tell me little things about women on the way home, and I'd fucking tell him, no, I don't like little girls. You know what I'm saying? And he'd tell me someday, you don't like girls, you gotta suck their titties. He'd say,
you didn't even like girls yet.
I'd be saying, what's titties? Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then that's where you learn. You got to have a relative that tells you little details about girls. You know?
They put like a porno on in front of you. Yeah, it almost blows up and shit.
My buddy, Cuban guy, I won't say his name, but his older brother put on a porno one time when I was probably about 12, and I'm watching it, and I get I got an erection, and then his brother's name was Hector, and he reaches over and he grabs my dick, and he goes, "Hey, you like this? You like this movie, huh?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I'd never had anybody touch my dick in my life.
What did you do? You just ran out of that.
I just fucking...
You never told nobody, not even the priest.
I think this might be the first time I ever brought it up. It was like one of those memories that's like lodged back there.
You gotta write this
under a rock.
You gotta write this into a bit. Hey, you like it, huh?
Yeah.
My first ever disgusting experience was with the Ali brothers. I got thrown out of Sacred Heart School for boys in the 5th grade. And I went to McKinley in the 6th grade. In the 6th grade, there were these Spanish kids called the Alis, Juan and Alberto. Juan was legit, but Alberto was the retarded.
The Alis.
Oh, just fucking hilarious. You couldn't write this. But in the 6th grade, you're 12, maybe 13. They were like 14 and a half and 16.
Yeah,
like
right.
the one that was slow was like 15. In those days, they just kept leaving you back.
That's right.
Until you learn the English language.
So humiliating. Every new
They didn't give a
class
fuck. They were just happy to be in the United States.
Yeah, right.
They went somewhere from 9 to 3. They sang songs. They saluted the flag. The Cubans were happy in those days. Are you kidding me? They were fucking, the Cubans I knew in those days were fucking, the kids were fucking. Salute the flag. Oh, they were saluting the flag and shit, and going to Bible study and singing, oye, la música católica, compadre. Dios, Papa Dios. They were legit to quit. But the Alis were the first people I ever met, ever, beside my godfather, that ever spoke to me about sex. And then I had this Puerto Rican dude on my block, Puerto Rican Nelson. He lived in the back. He was a bartender in the city. He used to always ask me, and he wasn't a freak or nothing. I always thought that at one point he would molest me.
Yeah.
And even till today, I think deep sometimes. Did fucking Puerto Rican Nelson ever molest me? Because he used to always have a robe on and slippers and shit.
That's how he walked around?
Oh my God, Puerto Rican Nelson.
I love that you're not sure if he did. You feel like it's maybe...
Yeah, like I think, did he ever dope me? Like he ever pull a Cosby on me? Because everything about him fits like an M.O. He was just a good dude.
Yeah.
That we used to go outside and help us fix our bike. And he was a Spanish dude. And he was just, he had the sideburns and the leather jacket. And it was the fucking early 70s. And I moved to Jersey. And he would talk to a bunch of us. And one day he would take us in the back. His claim to fame with me was that I became friends with him. And I go over there, and he had a black friend that had went over to the Rock of Gibraltar, and he brought pictures back. And then he would just talk to me. And then one day, he asked me you got a couple of beers. You ever go to somebody's house, and you go to their house a lot, and they're sober, but one day you catch them, and they're fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And we go over there, and it's like early in the morning. Like I used to go over there every morning at 10 and wake him up and what's up, man? What are we going to do today? Give me an hour. I'll go out there and play stickball with you. And he come out with coffee, and he reeked of alcohol.
Yeah.
He was one of those dudes in the summer. No air conditioning. Just a dynamite dude.
Yeah.
And one day, I knock on the door, and he answers with a towel around him, and he's sitting down like he's all fucked up. I go, Nelson, you gonna play football? He's like, man, not today, and all this shit. He goes, come back in like 2 hours. So, we were, in those days, you're punctual.
Yeah.
Like we were there in 2 hours. He answered the door. You guys again? The fucking curtains were still up. He invites us in. He's got a towel on. He turns a light on, and there's like a table filled with alcohol. And like.
Oh yeah.
How old were you at this point?
12. 12, and I can't remember who the fuck I walked in there with. Like, it was like 6 of us in the neighborhood that liked Nelson, but 2 of us actually interacted a little closer with Nelson.
Yeah.
I was Spanish, so I understood Nelson's world. I knew Puerto Rican people, but I can't believe who else was the other guy that mingled with Nelson. So we had woken Nelson up. He goes, come in. We sit on his couch. You guys want a soda? He gives us a soda. He puts the TV on. You can see he's still fucked up from the night before. He's got the towel on. And he's like, so you guys get late? And we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, nobody ever spoke to me like that. I had uncles that would ask me, anybody suck your dick yet?
Yeah.
Are you pissing sweet yet? That type of shit. But this...
You pissed.
Oh, yeah. When you're Spanish, te preguntan, oye, tú me aduces. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Yeah, it's a great line. But Nelson was basically the first person ever, but like, I known about sex But Nelson was the first person ever that said it could be yours. You know, I'm just like, what do you mean you never had sex? I got a girl right now. She'll come over and clean your pipe. And we're both like fucking shitting our pants. Yeah, you come up with like $10 or something. We're like, nah. So that was it. He never talked about it again. And then one day we're sitting there like a month.
Just love this guy.
Like
a guy in a fucking towel has neighborhood boys over and offers to get them a whore. And he's drunk.
Because he's outraged that they haven't had sex at 14 or 12.
So he was cool as fuck. He used to play basketball with us and shit. So one day I go over there with this kid and he starts telling us.
What's his name again?
Puerto Rican Nelson. We go.
Is it be capitalized?
No, Puerto Rican Nelson was cool as fuck because he used to bring us weed from the city and he would actually give us 7 joints for $5.
Wow.
He really took care of us. It wasn't like he was a bad guy, which to me meant the world. Because a lot of people could bring you weed over in those days, but they say, I take a joint off the top. He was like, I got to go over anyway. Don't worry about it. The guy gives me a better deal. So I always liked him because of that. So one day we're there, and a girl's there. A girl comes out of his bedroom. Me and my buddy are like, wow. Look at Puerto Rican Nelson with a broad. She sits on his lap and shit. And he's like, yeah, this is my girl. And he's feeling her up. And he's making out in front of her. And feeling into these and shit. And me and my buddy are frozen. Like, we're just, I can't remember who the fuck it was. So,
wow.
Boom.
How old was this guy?
This guy had to be 28, and the bro was like 21. But he was one of those, he had to be 26 maybe. He was from somewhere else, and he lived there. This is before the computer and before Neighborhood Watch and before...
and no one was freaked out by a pack of 12-year-olds hanging out with them?
No, because in those days, a lot of parents came out and played with kids. And
I know, that's different now.
See, it's different now.
I would never be able to play with a random kid in my neighborhood.
So everybody knew him for the neighborhood, and in those days, we wanted to go into the murky waters.
Yeah.
And he was kind of opening the door. Not really, to be honest with you. It took a long time. It's not like he lurked us into his house and said, do you guys want to have sex? This is after we knew him for a year.
Right.
We go back there all the time to get water after a basketball game. We knew him, you know. But now he knew we were growing up and he knew what our needs were. I look at it now like he was just trying to, but we couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So one day we're sitting back there, we had a basketball game, and he's like, hey, man, what'd you think of that fucking broad the other day? Me and my buddy like, oh, she was banging. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, tell these guys how hot she was. And me and my buddy's like, yeah, she was hot. He's like, oh, when can we see her? He goes, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He goes, listen, I'm going to fuck her tonight in the living room, and I'll leave the window open. You guys can come by and listen.
That was his thing.
For like $1 a piece.
That was his fetish.
Oh my God.
He got into boys listening to him fuck.
We got there. He was fucking the shit out of her doggy style. We all ran away. We were like mortified. We got there 10 minutes before he started fucking her. We're like, they're not even in there. And all of a sudden you heard her go, oh. And he's like, yeah, that's it, suck it. We tried to look. There must have been 8 of us trying to look at that window. We just heard them fucking. And I heard meat. Like, that's the first time I heard balls.
Yeah.
And we ran out of there, dog. And the next day, he's like, the next day, he's like, did you guys come by? Oh, my God.
That's the weirdest fucking neighborhood guy I've ever heard.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. That guy's great.
But the Ali brothers.
Think about how many, like, firsts you had with that guy. First drinking, fucking...
I never drank with him, I don't think. He didn't. No. He got us weed, and he was like, dog, if I do this for you, you got to keep it on the level. I can't have the, he was very careful. But the Ali brothers were the first people that told me, like, this all was happening at once.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.